I can throw biomass or I can throw ash. I can throw biomass and get more, or ash and get less. Of course I'm going to use the biomass recipe. So yeah, it's the things that were broken. It's I didn't know if that messed me up here. So yeah, we'll have 15 Relesia plantations doing this recipe with 4 Relesias. So let's make sure that I grab enough of all of these things. So what's 15 times 4 again? 60? Yeah, 60. So that's 6 slots of Relesia in my inventory. For reference. Just, for reference. Now, I do have the actual Relesia already, so that is nice. That is a relief. I already have the actual Relesia built. If I can find where I am actually making my Relesia. That would be good. So all this. Hey, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ogs. 29 by 2. Another 58 of those. So that's another 6 inventory spaces. Ogs. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. Huzzah! Ogs. Then I have to grab the paddocks, which I have over here. Botanical nurseries. Some number of botanical nurseries. 6 is my total count I'm getting. By the way, hold up, if I do summary, yeah, that's the info I want right there. That's the info. 6 botanical nurseries. Right there. That's the most important thing. The totals. The totals is important. Very important. No seaweed. Moss. So another important point to make. I could do the og food recipe instead of the biomass moss recipe. I could do the food recipe for the Ogs. It would save me a couple of Og paddocks, and also mean that I would have to bring a bit more stuff in to make the food. So we could get more complex. If I really wanted to, I could get this to be a lot more complex. So if you thought this was complex, it could be more complex. Is the point that I'm making? It could be simpler. I could do more buildings with simpler recipes, and I could also do a lot more buildings of additional recipe steps. I could do more recipes to have a little bit lower up on this end of some stuff. So it could be more recipes, or it could be less recipes and a lot more buildings. And this is the whole point. This is the whole point of Alien Life. It is offering you options of what to do. I have opted to do something a little bit in between this time at this phase of the game. So spore collectors, 14 of those actually, and of course the actual mushrooms should be, yeah, 15 of those. I'm actually going to do 1-to-1, just for reference on that. Wood processing units. I actually think I was carrying some of those to begin with, so grab some of that. High pressures I have. Fastwoods. Fastwood forestries. As all the robots come to do their thing. Where are my fastwoods? Up here. That's those. And automated factories, I think, is the only other thing outside of like 70 some odd Ulric. So let's make sure to grab that. Oh, it tells you the modules too. It tells you the modules. How many you need? Good. Good. This little summary thing is my absolute savior right now. These thingies, yeah, those. Now I can worry about getting the actual Ulric and the stack of those. That's 70. 3. Yay, just enough. And then how many Ulric have been actually made? How many Ulric have I actually made? 10. 14. Apparently. And this will move. Keep moving. Just, you know, a bit of a kickstart on the Ulric. And I guess the rest of my inventory is going to be lots and lots and lots of belt. You know, just some belt. Some amounts of belt. And my car, as well, is going to be belt. I think my bots have something to do now. Like, just gonna point out, I think my bots have something to do. Note how many Logibots I have. Totally intentional. How many total I have on this network. Totally intentional. That number of logistics bots. If you pay attention up there. Yeah, totally intentional. Okay, more stuffs, more things, more splitters. Yeah, splitters are awesome. Let's have some more of those. And a lot of belt. Yes, lots of belt. Okay, let's find a spot to start laying down buildings for 15 minutes. So we need a spot big enough to fit all of this. And that has room to scale. Probably right out here. Like, right out here is likely the best option. Yeah, I think this area here, there'll be rail that goes across this way. So yeah, right in here. Nice big open space, perfect for this type of thing. Die. Really? Really? So many rocks. The bane of my existence. The car's rock finder is very good. The car's rock finder is very good, as you could probably tell by all of the rocks that have health bars. visible. Every single rock that has a health bar visible is a rock that I have run into. just you know, just for reference. For reference, every rock with a health bar that you see, every rock with a health bar that you see as we drive around, every one that still exists is a rock that my car has found. Speaking of car, just checking the fuel. Excuse me? That would be a rock behind that tree. So, it's right in here that we will be building. This is the area for the Ulric. Starting with what? Probably the easiest things. Well, starting with Faugi, most likely. So let's do that. The mushrooms, it's 15 and what will be 15. I'll do these all in a row. Sure, why not? And then these guys. Oh. Aww. I should have started with these guys. Why? Why do I do this to myself? Yeah, they're one tile larger. You see the problem? They are one tile larger. What I'm making all of the Ulric for. Bone meal. Bone meal. That's what I'm making the Ulric for. Bone meal. That should be 15. 15. Yay. Assign the proper recipe. The still not overridden recipe. Cough, cough. And, yeah, it's... What was it again? This. Water plus. Glorious mushrooms. This is the infrastructure now for mushrooms, just for reference. This is the new infrastructure for mushrooms. By the way, when I built mushrooms on my bus, I built them wrong. When I built the when I built this, I did it wrong. Because I did not realize that the spores had a percentage chance of outputting. I did not realize that it was a 40% chance initially, now a 60% chance that these would actually produce spores. So instead of being a flat 1 to 2, approximately, it was barely able to feed 1 to 1. At 40%, at 60%, it is feeding technically more than 1-ish, but for all intents and purposes, this is going to be 1 to 1. So yeah, that should work out fine. And water. Water everywhere. and then power. Long, long string for power. Yeah, I could copy-paste the power, but I clearly, I'm not gonna. Do spores need inputs? No. Power. Power for spores. For these spores, it's just power. In fact, all spores. Spores is just out of the atmosphere for the various spores. It just makes it with power. Sucked out of the air, yes. That is the mushrooms are supposed to be the native species. Mushrooms are native, and you can pull them right from the air from the planet. All of the other creatures that we make are, I guess, supposed to be stuff that we are making ourselves, these genetically modified creatures based off of Earth creatures. But the shrooms, yeah, the shrooms just exist. They're part of the planet. Everything else we're adding to the environment. For the moment, anyway. So that's mushrooms. That is mushrooms. Done. Theoretically. Next. Wood? Shall we do wood next? I think we shall do wood next. Am I doing... Yes, I'm also doing biomass wood, so... not for the wood itself, but for the, production of biomass that I'll need for other things. Yeah, I'm just looking at the, production block info here. Yeah, so... How many... seeds? How many buildings making the seeds? 6! Oh, joy! We're gonna start with the, moss farms, to make the seedlings, and then the fast woods, and then the seeds, and loop back the seeds. So the moss, I'm doing the coarse fraction based moss. Oh right, I did not pick up the sand extractors. Ah, well there's something I forgot. I forgot the sand extractors. Slash any other way to get coarse fraction. You could solid sep, I think, for the coarse fraction as well. You could do stone based tar and get coarse fraction out of it. It's actually the stone based tar is actually pretty good depending on what recipes that you're doing, because you can end up with other things that you may want out of that as well. Is there a story behind Paimons? Not really. It's just, you know, added ways of getting things. But yeah, I mean, you can read descriptions on items and get some idea of things on occasion. If we do like the Mark IV creatures, we will apparently burn in hell. That's one of the nice things that's stated. Yeah, let's not just sit around. We have like 6 minutes. Let's go. Let's do this. Chop chop. Chop chop things. Stuff things. Moss farms. Yeah. That is off. Let's not be off. Moss farms. So yeah, this recipe, it's 10 moss in 15 seconds by feeding 100 CO2 and 10 coarse fraction instead of 3 stone. Yeah, it makes the CO2 go longer, more efficient use of CO2. That's why I like the looks of this recipe. Why am I using assembling machine 1 for stuff and the auto factories for the other? Just cuz. I'm only using the automated factories because they have a fluid input that we can't use the assembling machine 1 for. Because for some reason, we can't input steam into a standard level 1 assembling machine. And we can't input tar into the standard level 1 assembling machine and creosote into standard level 1 assembling machine. I would absolutely still be using the level 1 assembling machines if I didn't have to use the automated factories because of the fluid input. That is a thing they fixed in vanilla with V17. These level 1 buildings can absolutely take a fluid input if the recipes allowed them to. As far as I'm aware, at least I thought that was a very specific mechanic they changed. Was the fluid on the assembling machines? Or no, I'm thinking wrongly. I am thinking wrongly. I'm thinking that there used to be a input item limit depending on what the mark level was. That's what I'm thinking of. Was the input number limit on the assembling machines. That was the stupid thing that they changed. Yeah, that was the stupid thing that they fixed. That should never have been a thing. Just the number of inputs being capped on a level of building. They're going to be changing the sprites, by the way, on the assembling machines at some point. That's another start of things that'll come. It's like, oh, we're getting sound changes now. Just wait until they start changing the sprites. Because they are planning on changing the sprites as well. Yeah, it'll be nice, ideally. They'll have new animations. But yeah, the automated factories are frankly overkill. They're large. Like, I can... It's just a matter of space utilization. It's better for the assembling machine ones, and I only use the automated factories when I have to, or when speed, like, because some of this, clearly speed isn't mattering so much. I only need like one assembling machine one. There's no point in using an automated factory when I only need one smaller machine to get the job done, right? So at smaller scale like this, it is better to just save the space. But and prior to changes in module slots, the actual higher level vanilla assembling machines, space-wise, for module slots, it was very competitive between the two. Anyway, we are at the end, technically, but let's at least place down some of this stuff. What makes the actual thingies again? These nurseries? How many nurseries? How many nurseries? 5? 5. 5 nurseries making seedlings. We'll at least place infrastructure down. I think that's what we'll do to end off the stream today. We'll have infrastructure placed, and then I'll do the actual logistics around that infrastructure off screen. Fastwoods 15. A little bit closer. $15. 14. No, 15 and one wasn't placed. Alright. I knew I didn't miscount. So in like this, we can do this the size comparison. So Automated factories are very much faster. They are faster, but you can fit like 4, 5. Like the amount of space that they consume is the equivalent of at least 4. 1, 2, plus 1. All right, 1, 2, plus 1. So this takes up more than 4 in terms of space. Space efficiency, the smaller vanilla inserter assembling machines are better. Just space efficiency. At least at the start. Especially when you're not worrying about module slots. Once you start worrying about module slots, the math changes dramatically depending on what you're using. Anyway, that's the fast woods. They're doing this recipe. I can do this on the map real quick and just get rid of that. I have a gap. That's sad. Poor gap. After Fastwoods, it's the actual machines making the stuff. So just 6 of these. 6 of these making the seeds. See, it's good. Seeds made. From here, it's it's not actually seeds yet. I'm dummy. It's the however many 5 wood processing units on the wood itself, and then six, making it's 6 and 5. So we've got biomass and we've got wood being made out of the logs. That'll have stuff in and all that good stuff. All that good stuff. All the rocks will die. So that's the wood and the mushrooms all set up here. Algs would be next, followed by Relesia, because that's the biomass. Next is algs, then Relesia, then food, then just the stuff for Ulrics. Yes, the nurseries primarily make seeds. The nurseries are primarily what's used to make seeds. It's also used to actually process your cadaveric aurum now into acid gas and the DMS. And it's also what gives you your first copy of the various flowers / flowering plants. Yeah, flowering plants is the correct term because kickalks are trees, and guess what? Trees are flowering plants. Technically, they are part of the flowering plants. Currently, anyway. The ones that you think of, yeah. Not all, most. Not all. Those conifers, they're not exactly flowering. And there used to be trees that aren't. I'm getting confused now. There used to be forests of like actual wood-bearing things that weren't trees. If you can think of that, forests of not trees. And I think there's only one of those types of things left that exists. What is the taxonomic rank of tree? I don't think tree is not a thing. Trees are split into a couple of things. Yes, and there were tree ferns as well. So yeah, there was uh yeah, the name escapes me. It's been too many years. But anyway, we've got this set up. We've got to do the logistics. I will be continuing to build out until eventually we get to the glorious Ulric to do this recipe on the Ulric. You can see it's six Ulrics to fill one of these. Yeah, that's what we'll be what we'll be working towards. Maybe Pyandon is going to improve the rate of production of some of these things. Wait a minute. Uh oh, 80%. Right. That's I was like, why does this say 0.63? It's because what is it really used for does not take into account percentage-based products. It doesn't take into account percentage-based products. That's the reason. So it's 80% of 0.63, which is 0.5. All right, that's the thing. So I will work on this, maybe off screen. We will meet again on Sunday, and ideally that'll be done. Depends on how sucked into Black Desert I get. In the meantime, with that, folks, we've reached the end of today's stream. I would like to thank you all for watching. If you're watching the VOD on YouTube, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you are so inclined, head on over to twitch.tv/Showboat to leave a follow to be notified when I go live Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to approximately 1 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. You can do all of the social stuff through the links below the video, including supporting Pyandon's mods development at patreon.com/Pyandon and myself at patreon.com/Otaku Showboat. King Arthur will apparently have more fixes by then. Yay! Yay. I will, ideally, see you on the next one.